Hey everyone. Well, I've got my kids to bed now. So as you can see, I'm a little more perked up, and I'm going to explain why. I'm actually going to explain a few things that have transit transactions, I should say, that have happened. One, welcome to my dungeon. This is my room. I need a ring light. I think that's what I need to get is a ring light. Um, so uh, some of you have probably watched. If you know by now, Chris Sleep, um, and his apology video, which he didn't have to do that. Um, really didn't have to. But I appreciate that. And I too also apologize. I have stated that quite a few times. Um, but basically, what happened is, if you watched the last video, like I stated before, I mentioned tires. Um, he put an opinion out there, and I took it a little more personal than I think what he meant it as to be. Um, because he brought in MTS, and I've basically been at MTS from the beginning. I helped uh, basically test the tire program we're currently running because we invested into the Hoosier Slicks, D10s, D20s, D30s, and gave our opinion, and everyone else kind of followed suit and liked what they were seeing. So, and that is prescribed has become the tire we've been running. Um, but a lot of people also don't realize that, especially people up north that run the treads, that basically are like, why do you guys run the slicks? And this is the reason. We chose slicks before the tread program was set up at Thunderhill. Um, no communication between the tracks, basically, is what it was. One track decided we're going to go this way, one track decided to go that way. Granted, they're 2.5 hour distance, but still, there was no communication. Also, the class was not what it is now. So that is why we run what we run. And I take certain things with MTS a little bit by heart because a lot of people also don't know the context of everything. And I really like the place, even though I have had my controversial things with the track with the promoter Jeff, but him and I have worked things out. I've also learned certain things getting older. I mean, what's say, not say. You learn that. I'm 40 now. But anyways, so I'm getting off track here. So he made a comment. I 100% posted a comment back to him. Took it way farther than it had to go. I'm also human. It happens. I even made a comment that night when I saw my brother that, hey, I think I was too harsh. And he agreed with it. He goes, yeah, I think you were. So I was waiting for Chris's response. And I think in the months of it, Corey made some comments back. And he ended up sending a screenshot to Chris by accident, not to me. And then Chris read our messages, responded. Now, I then responded yesterday morning back and have been waiting for his response. And I'm not going to lie, I've been like a freaking 16-year-old waiting for his crush's text message. Every 15 minutes, I was freaking popping on the comment section, seeing if Chris responded. And he never responded. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I upset him. And at this point, I probably should have just direct messaged him. I didn't. And I just happened to be scrolling on Facebook, and his feed came up while I was at work waiting for something to be finished. And he put a video out there. And at first, I laughed because it was a funny skit. But then, if you go and read the transition of comments, he hit like 5 key points of things that were going back and forth between us. So then I was like, how do I take this? Was this a direct hit at me for some reason? And I actually messaged my dad and brother and go, I don't know how to take this. Is this towards us? Is this not towards us? I don't know. Again, should have just direct messaged them, find out. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation. Um, but then it just started eating at me and eating at me while I was at work. And then you saw the video I posted, and um, I actually I uploaded and forgot it was uploading, and I actually took a small nap before I had to go get my kids. And when I woke up, I had all these messages and notifications, and it kind of blew my mind, to be honest with you. So I had a few drivers reach out to me. Chris reached out to me and basically said, hey, that was not directed at you. That's something I've been in the works. It's something I'm doing in the off season. And then him and I proceeded to just, again, explain our situations. And the one thing everyone's got to remember is neither of us are right or wrong. These are our opinions, and that's fine. We also view racing differently. Chris, hey, more power to you, man. Run that outside, hit, do your thing. He is more, and he states it, more out there to please the crowd. Where I am more of the, I honestly don't care what the crowd thinks. I am there to be competitive. I don't have to win. I've stated that many times. We don't have to win. Winning is great. Yes, everyone wants to win. All I want to be is competitive. If we're swapping positions from freaking 3rd to 10th and everyone comes off the track having a blast, to me, that was a good race. Of course I want to win. That's why I put the time and energy into this stuff to win. That is ultimately my goal. That is why we spend $6,000 plus per go-kart and go after sponsors and stuff like that. So you can do that, but it's a different mindset. So Chris's point of view is basically, we run the Millbridge tires, you mount them up and you roll them. And that's fine, but Millbridge doesn't even follow that. I mean, why are we running this big ass tire if they are allowed to shrink it down in Millbridge? And I get the track is Thunder Hill is mimicking Millbridge, and that's fine. But again, that's the difference in opinions. I don't think you should be able to not size a tire, because I wouldn't want to run 4 inches of stagger at Thunder Hill Speed, or at Mississippi, even Thunder Hill, but Mississippi Thunder, sandy ass track. You don't need 4 inches stagger. You're going to have a hard time getting a hold of the track. People are having a hard time right now getting a hold of the track. That's why the track, it's difficult. It is a hard track to race at. And you can talk to any of the top drivers. They'll tell you that it's a fun track, but it is very hard. It's very tricky. What you would normally do in a go-kart, you don't really do at Mississippi Thunder, because you're looking for grip. And so I understand Chris's point of view. That's where I'm going with this. Is Chris is looking out for the racer coming in. They can only have to buy one set of tires, this and that. But also on the flip side, though, is the class isn't what it used to be. There is no top class. There is no clones for weekly anymore, which would be your top class. Sportsman would be your beginner. Sportsman has become the top class, and Predator is now coming up and being the beginner class. And that's the tough thing you're dealing with, is you're cost saving, but the class isn't treated that way anymore. I mean, they run Sportsman's over on the East Coast too. I mean, it isn't because they can't get clones to run their weekly. So Sportsman's has taken over as the top class, and that's, you're trying to find the balancing act is what you're doing. And that's why I actually suggested you basically have like a pro division for Sportsman and a non-pro division. I actually came up with something, and it kind of went somewhere and it didn't. And but anyways, you can buy used wing size kart right side treads all over. So someone who's coming in doesn't have to go out and buy $522, which I just found out literally a half hour ago is what a set of tires is for us. On top of that, if you need rims, those are $220 shipped to you. So you're at $750 for one set of rims. Now, I could say, hey, go to Buzzy Adams. He's got 80 tires he's trying to get rid of. He'll probably sell them to you for half the price. New person's going to love that. But that's what I'm saying. It's difference of opinions. And one of the hardest things I deal with is I was racing karts 20, 25 years ago. Like Thunder Hill. Like right now, everyone knows Thunder Hill as wings. I was there in the heart of it when it was 12 flat car classes, 120 to 150 entries every Saturday. We had 6 adult classes. You could run 4 of those if you had one go-kart. But the transition has changed. And that was one thing I learned. It was an eye-opener for me 7 years ago when we got back into this, out of my stock car back into karting. Because we helped create, we were one of the first karts to take a flat kart, put a cage on it, and run a 250 wing at Thunder Hill. So the transition has changed because everyone's like cages, wings, flat karts get pushed to the bottom. And it's very discerning. I don't know if that's the right word, but how everything has changed. And you could talk to a few of that have been around as long as we have, Sabrise, Altons, and a few others. They've worked, they've used this, and have adapted themselves to it. But coming back into it, it was a huge eye-opener. And it's slightly frustrating when you're trying to take a flat kart and want to make it drive like a wing kart. So again, it's flat karts are designed to be drove smooth. Very little turn on the steering wheel. If you watch some of my videos where I've got them literally set up perfect that night, there isn't turning of the wheel. Smooth is fast. You're not out there throwing it sideways because we don't have the horsepower to do that. And then on top of that, every track is slightly different. Thunder Hill has built their track to be able to run 3, 4, 5 different grooves top to bottom, which is great. That's fantastic because they are now catered to the wings. And then, yeah, it's awesome to see a flat kart run the lip on the outside. I mean, it was the first time I watched Chris Sleep do it. I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome. But you can't do that at every track. Like a little Bowling or Rice Lake, it's just not going to happen. Mississippi Thunder is another one. It's not shaped to run up there. Even the wings can't even run up there. It's just part of it is the track size, the shape of it, and the type of clay /dirt/sand that you race on. So, wow, I've said a lot. Okay. So it's a difference in opinion. Right or wrong, Chris has his opinion, I have my opinion, and like he says, it got taken way out of context, and I put it on me. 90% of that blame is on me. Just frustration, because I also deal with racers up at Rice Lake that think these are cars, and these are not cars. You can't just go out and make a pass on the outside. It's not the reality of it. If we could, trust me, Corey especially would be the first one to do it. He wants to run the outside, and he tries, but it doesn't work. And all of a sudden, you're a freight train, 5, 6 karts. If a track could figure out how to do that, great. One of the things we face is we just don't have the horsepower to do that. But Menomony's got the game. They've got the kart, the track laid out so you can, and it's great. It's fun to watch on the videos I watch, but also on the flip side is you have a stagger rule because you're trying to keep the karts loose, but is too loose, especially for the newer drivers who are trying to understand, 1, how to drive, and 2, they don't know how to set them up yet, so they're learning how to set them up, and you throw them on a kart that feels like it's on ice. So does this go beyond tires? Is this, maybe we need to look into treat this as a higher level class and keep working the Predators in and keep that as a separate class, $350 motor, and that is the appeal to the low budget racer. What's the right direction? I don't know. But what I do know is $750 for a set of tires is crazy. And if we have a way to buy used ones, maybe we should be having that discussion. I'm not saying change it right now, but maybe the promoters, and I keep saying this now, is if we have 5 tracks, let's get on the same page. You guys all run unified rules for the rookie cage, the junior wings, the 125s, the 250s, the 500s, the intermediates, but why can't we get unified for sportsmen? Why is one track this tire, one track is this tire, one track is tire size, one track is not, one track runs stock air filters, one track doesn't, one track allows open clutches, one track doesn't? Why? Why can't 5 promoters get together, come up with a set of rules, you get the driver's input, you figure out what's going to work, and you do it, simplify it for us also. Like I said, if we went with a no size rule at MTS, 4 inches of stagger on that sandy track on a harder tire that we're running right now, it's going to be tough. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm up for the challenge. I'm just saying it's going to be tough. Where, for me personally, and I stated it in the message, if I ran Rice Lake and MTS, we ran the same treads, the same situation we have, but I can size at both tracks. I'd actually run the same right side tires that I currently run right now at both tracks, and I would size my left rear differently. One tire. But I also have the knowledge, and I get that. And that's where I get Chris's point is, well, now someone's got to buy a tire, and someone's got to buy an oven. You don't have to. You don't. But me as the competitor is going to. And I am more than willing to then, if I do it and figure something out, if someone comes and asks me, I'll tell you. I'm not that person that doesn't, because I'm going to take a line out of Zach Axon and Trevor Roosh. They all both look at me and go, well, they'll figure it out eventually. Come ask. You'll figure it out. So that's where this whole thing came. So that is my take on everything. Again, I apologize to Chris. It went way beyond what it should have been. So don't hate on him. Hit up his vlog. He does good stuff. Hey, this is not easy, people. If you watch the start of Chris's vlogs to where he is now, it's a whole different game, because it's tough talking to a camera. When you first start doing this, it's weird, especially when you're just walking in front of people and talking. But all of a sudden, you just kind of it becomes an extension. It becomes your hand, and you're like, hey, you just start talking. And like right now, I'm 18 minutes into a video, and I didn't realize I've been talking for 18 minutes. So go hit up Chris. Go watch his content. I'm sorry to Chris for everything. Let's put this all on the back burner. But we all have the same goals. The same goals is, let's get ourselves on the same program. We might differ on how we think the program should work, but it's not going to stop me from racing. But what we need is the promoters to jump in now. And let's make this class even better than what it is. It can be way better. Because I can tell you what, I've had drivers from Little Buckaroo and GSR message me and say, you know what, I hate the tire game. I wish we had a program like you guys. We could be the footstep that starts this, and all of a sudden we've got the same unified class within the freaking state. How awesome would that be? That I could drive 3 hours away to GSR and go run with them, or Little Buckaroo, and they can come do it with us, and we got the same class. That'd be amazing. But, anyway, I'm rambling again. Again, Chris, sorry. All is good. My take. Hopefully I didn't bore you. Hopefully I gave some more context of everything. And yeah, so like I said, I have one more video. That's the Rice Lake banquet video. Hoping to have that out in the next week or so. I'm working on a picture right now. And I am caught up on videos. How amazing. It's taken me over a year to do that, but I can say that now. And then I'm actually ordering parts so we can start doing some shop vlogs, getting ourselves ready. We also have plans to do like a roundtable discussion. Probably a hot topic would be tires, just saying. And then we're in the middle of getting ourselves in a couple car shows. Unfortunately, we will not be making Emma this year. It was thought about. It was a hard decision, but to be honest with you, just the funding isn't there. For us, it's a $2,500 trip, easy, and we rather put that time and energy into promoting our local sponsors. We're also working on a few new ones, so hopefully we can make some announcements regarding our sponsors. And get into some car shows and just that. I've got a lot of stuff up here. It's just trying to get all the time to do everything. So yeah, so I'm a little winded now. Been talking a lot. So I am now gonna go jump back on my laptop, get this video uploaded, and I'm gonna start working on a statistic photo for Greg. And then I'll get back to working on the last vlog. So, again, hope this gets to Chris and gets out to everyone else. Thank you for everyone's comments about how to keep going and this and that. It was a little overwhelming. It was more responses than I actually honestly thought. It's people responding from all over the country on YouTube and Facebook and the locals and I really appreciate that because we did this just out of the whim 2 years ago. Like I said, we decided MTS. Hey, my dad's like, do a vlog. I was like, I don't know how. He goes, figure it out, and here we are. So that's basically how it went down. So okay, again, thanks everyone for reaching out, and sometimes it's better just to shoot someone a direct message or call them. So, the wonderful game of tires. All right, everyone. Peace out.